If you want to get a head start on 2025, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that with your goals and setting up systems to turn those goals into habits. This will make achieving your 2025 goals super easy. It's what worked for my students because before implementing these systems, they were feeling guilty for not being productive all the time, feeling like they spent too much time on their phones, and also feeling overwhelmed with too much to do but not having direction or clarity at the same time. So today I'm teaching you the systems that enabled my students to actually reach their goals the easy and simple way. So what you're gonna do is pick a life category. Here on my Notion homepage, which I did a whole Notion tour in another video, you see I have divided it into multiple categories. One for growth, this is anything from personal development, therapy, etc., to career and finance, or school if you're still in school, and creativity, so this is hobbies, travel, and health, which is my diet, my gym plan, and everything related to my physical health, and social, which is my relationships with others, including friendships and my partner. So an overview of what we're gonna do today is we're gonna focus on one of these categories and pick one specific goal for that category. So for health, you would either pick diet or gym. Then we're gonna break it down into trackable habits. And we're gonna try being consistent in that habit for at least 1 week because that's literally how I started with all of my habits that have changed my life. Like when I first went vegan, I was like, I'm only gonna do this for 1 week. And now it's been more than 8 years. Same as when I was tracking my time 24/7. I was like, okay, this is a bit much, but I'm only gonna try it for this week, get insights and see what happens. But the insights were so good and I just got used to it. Now I've been tracking for like 2 years straight. So let's go through an example together. Let's say in 2025, you want to focus on your health. So I actually have a Notion template in my course where you can pick your life category and set habits related to that. So if you set a habit where it's like go to the gym 3 times a week, it might be too much to start. So if you're not really used to going to the gym, or if you're just starting an exercise routine for the first time, it could be something as easy as move your body for at least 5 minutes every day. So what I have in this template is I usually get you to brain dump all the thoughts that you have, and then you write where you want to be. So close your eyes and imagine how would you define how you have achieved this goal. For me, it was something like completed my first marathon. For you, it can mean something like you run a 10K in under 50 minutes, or you're going to the gym consistently. And then you kind of just reverse engineer from there, like what are the habits that you need to implement regularly in order to hit that goal state. So again, it can be move your body at least 5 minutes every day, go to the gym 3 times a week, or take a walk every weekend. And the next thing you want to do is make a list of to-dos that you can do immediately, because I feel like sometimes you just set the goals and you think about this habit, but then you don't do anything about it. So these to-dos are things that you can do right now to set up your habits. So for example, you can ask ChatGPT or do some research about a gym schedule and start planning out what you're gonna do at the gym. You can also message a friend like right now and ask them to take fitness classes with you. And that's how you can actually be consistent and start with your habits that align with your goals. So I do have a psychology cheat sheet about how to kind of trick yourself into being consistent with your habits. Like some examples are, you have to just start with like the smallest thing you can do. So if you want to go to the gym the next morning, you just lay out your gym clothes. The other thing is to make it your identity. So when I was entering my finance era, I was telling everyone that I was a finance girl now, and that kind of forced me to work with spreadsheets and look at my bank accounts more. I'll link the habit consistency cheat sheet below in the description, but I think what might be most helpful is if you actually have practice being consistent with a habit every day. It doesn't take a lot of discipline if it's an easy habit, and you can combine it with something else like, do squats while brushing your teeth every day, or even have your desired habit somewhere you can see it every day. For my students in my course, I make them do a consistency calendar. So every day they check the course and they check off one habit in the consistency calendar. And at the end of the course, they just have like 30 days of check marks on the calendar, and it just looks so satisfying. And a little reminder here, because I see this thinking mistake in a lot of people. Everyone's like, oh, I can't be consistent, I can't be disciplined, I can't do this every day. Like if you miss a day or two, they're like, oh no, I broke my streak, what do I do? And then they never go back to it. But I would just say consistency happens in weeks or months, not days. So if you miss a day or two, you can always go back to it, because I journal every day, but when I was traveling, things got kind of hectic. I typed point form notes. Sometimes I just typed one sentence instead of a full journal entry, and I gave myself that permission to be imperfect, and that allowed me to stay consistent over the long term. And now I've journaled for like 10 years. Actually, more than 10 years. Yeah, I've journaled for more than 10 years now. And of course, not every day is perfect, but these 10 years, I've learned so much from my journaling that if I had just stopped after a period of traveling, I feel like I would not have gotten these insights and not like be living my dream life today. So I've been there, I've fallen behind on stuff too. The most important thing is get back on it and make progress. Like some of my students, they email me, they're like, I fell behind, can I be rolled over to the next cohort of students? And they feel so bad, but honestly, I admire those students the most because they keep trying. So I really think you have to let go of that perfectionism, give yourself permission to be imperfect, because then you can be consistent over the long term. And at the end of the year, you're just gonna be like, wow, I'm so glad I stuck with this, because you'll meet your goals. So I like to assign homework after videos like these, because then you'll actually take action. So your homework today is to pick one life category for this season. And this season can be anything from a few days to weeks to months. Like I said, I was in my finance era because that's part of my 2025 goals, to get my finances in order. And that season can be however long I decide for it to be. So if I get bored of being in my finance era, I'll just change the season and like maybe focus more on gym. But if you start it, you can get used to the habits, and then it'll be easier to do in the background while you move on to another life category or goal you want to work on. So yeah, pick one life category you want to focus on, from growth, career and finance or school, creativity, health and social. And then pick one specific goal that's related to that goal categories. So for example, if you pick the life category of health and your end goal is to be an active person that like runs a 10K under 50 minutes or something, then you break it down into trackable habits. So that could be something like, go for a run every weekend, or move your body at least 5 minutes a day. So once you have that goal and you break it down into habits, try it for at least 1 week. And if you need more support with this, I do have a course that I'm linking in the description below. It's a 30-day course that you can't speed run. Well, somebody did it once and they found it helpful, but it's something that you work on every single day, because I help you build out consistency and habits. And if you need more support with setting up your goals, I do have a YouTube video about how I set up my 2025 goals on Notion, and it's ADHD friendly, so be sure to check that out. In the meantime, I will see you next week for my next video. I love this poo pen. It's actually, I'm not even using it as a pen. I'm using it to like start and stop my camera. I got this in Japan. They have like the weirdest stuff there. Anyway, the end.